Welcome back to Critical Flick. This week we went to a special screening for a movie that's coming out this weekend called The House.
So The House features Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler, as well as a couple people that are actually from the show The League. And I'm going to pronounce this guy's name wrong, but it's Jason Mantzoukas. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, but he's in it, and those are the main three characters in the movie.
So this plot is very simple. It stars Amy Poehler and Will Ferrell, like Brian said. They're parents in this film, and they're trying to get money for their daughter's college fund, but they don't have anything. So they decide to come up with this idea to start a casino in their buddy's Jason's house. I'm not even going to pronounce his last name, but that's basically the plot of it. And as you can tell, it probably goes bad real quick.
I'd like to start off by saying, while this movie is a comedy, I didn't think it was really all that funny. There were a few moments that I genuinely thought were really funny with Will Ferrell, because I think Will Ferrell is a really good actor. I think he's really funny. I like a lot of his movies. But overall, it just really wasn't that funny of a movie, in my opinion.
I barely laughed in this movie, I'm going to be honest. I love Amy Poehler. Big Parks and Rec fan. Love her in that. Think she's really funny. I think Will Ferrell's funny, but I don't feel like they just were given the right material for them to do in this film.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. When we were leaving, they had a gag reel type thing at the end, like they do with a lot of comedies, and I think that was funnier than the movie, because you're seeing these really funny comedic actors. No one's saying that these are bad comedians or bad actors. Just I don't think that their source material was great. And you could see when they're on their own devices and just saying whatever they want to say, it was actually funnier than what was scripted for them in the movie.
And I know Amy Poehler, she's great off the cuff, doing her comedy sketch, and Will Ferrell's good as well. It just wasn't there in the film. The film had too many themes that changed throughout the film.
Yeah, the tone of the movie. I mean, a lot of comedies do that, where the tone of the movie changes drastically, and that's supposed to be funny. But this movie, it just was really weird. And the movie, okay, it's a comedy, it's fine, but you shouldn't have these crazy tone shifts that just take away from everything that's going on in the movie. The story doesn't have a flow at all. Things just happen, and it just gets so out of control so fast.
And the plot is pretty dumb, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's not a logical plot, and I wasn't expecting a logical plot, but it was just so ridiculous.
It was, this would never transpire in real life.
Yeah, you can tell, ever since the movies like The Hangover, which is a fantastic movie, and they do this kind of comedy so well, that these other movies are trying to replicate that ridiculous, over-the-top comedy, and it just doesn't work great with some movies. And this is one of those movies where it just didn't hit for me specifically.
Yeah, there were some gory scenes in it, which was really odd. There were some fight scenes that just came out of left field, and you're like, what is going on right now?
Yeah, that's one of the tone shifts thing I was talking about, is there's a lot of really, really graphic scenes. Not sexually graphic, but violently graphic, which is kind of weird for a comedy. But I mean, I guess situationally it was funny, but I don't think that's going to hit with most people, and it definitely didn't hit with her, because she doesn't like gore, so...
Well, I don't mind it, but it just was so unnecessary in this film. I mean, there's two women that beat each other up to, they're bleeding, and there's blood flying everywhere, and I'm like,
yeah,
what
is going on? What's going on right now? It got really extreme really fast.
And another person gets her finger chopped off. I was like, what? What? I really think Amy Poehler and Will Ferrell don't need that in their movies, because they're great on their own. They have their comedy relief that you're used to, and I feel like they could have just added more to the movie instead of all the gimmicky things in the film.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is that Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler alone are really funny, and they both have the ability, in my opinion, to carry a comedic movie. It didn't need all these ridiculous things happening. Mm-hmm. You could have just had them talking, and they're so funny, and their back and forth were some of the funniest parts of the movie, and just the things that Will Ferrell says sometimes are just hilarious, and that's fine. I didn't need this crazy situational comedy to happen. And I have to say, I didn't really watch The League. My friends watch The League, and they like it, and both the actors that are from The League, that is Nick Kroll as well as Jason Mantzoukas, however you pronounce it, they were fine in it. I think Jason Mantzoukas was a little funnier than Nick Kroll, because Nick Kroll comes off as a little annoying in this movie. He's not really funny. He's kind of just there to be a straw man, to just be hey, forget that guy. But it's just, I don't know. I didn't feel like he added anything to the movie, and I know he's really funny. I've seen some really funny stuff with him as well.
I just don't know what happened to comedy films. They all go this route now. Ever since The Hangover, it's very R-rated. They use the language, but There were some really good comedies, like the Rush Hour and those type of films, but they just don't make them anymore. And I don't understand why they go so drastic now in the comedy sketches.
Yeah, I think that it's getting a little bogged down in comedies now, where it's not even about the dialogue or the witty writing of it. It's just about ridiculous things, ridiculous situations, and a lot of cursing, which is fine. I think it's funny.
I think it's funny.
But it's just when it's overused to the point where that's the only thing that's funny is that they're cursing and what they're saying. It loses its funny. It's lost its shock value that it used to have.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I would give this movie 2.5 out of 10. A little higher than my Transformers I did in the past, but I just like Amy Poehler and Will Ferrell, so I give them credit. But the movie as a whole is just a mess. The story is a mess. They could have done so much better with both of them. They're both comedic geniuses, and I don't understand why this movie was made like this.
Yeah, I'm probably going to give this movie a 3.5. I didn't think it was absolutely terrible. I've seen worse comedies, but it's definitely one of those run-of-the-mill comedies that doesn't stand out from any of the other ones. And like she said, Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler are so much better than this movie. I've seen both of them be so much more funny than they are in this movie, and I honestly just think it could have been done a lot better. There were some really funny moments. I'm not going to say it was completely unfunny. I'm not going to say that it was like a worthless movie, but it could have been so much more funny, which is what made it not great for me.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. This was our review of The House, and let us know when you see it what you thought of it. Did you think it was funny? Honestly, a lot of people in the theater seem to think it was really funny, so maybe we're just jaded to comedy. So anyway, remember to like and subscribe and put your comments down below. And thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
See ya.